Importance of value in relationships on the show before, but what about value for one's self? According to Psychology Today, our emotional well-being is rooted in our values and feeling authentic when we are true to our deepest core values. The author of the article titled Core Values says, don't worry about happiness, focus more on those values. And here to help us explain all this is Dr. Richard Marks. It's so good to see you again.
It is a pleasure. Matter of fact, Dr. Stossen, who wrote that article, is a dear friend and was one of the great guys that influenced me a lot of my thinking.
Well, this was fascinating when we were reading about this because everybody says, what is the secret to happiness? But let's take it a step back and talk about core values and how that plays into being happy. What are core values?
All right, core value is when you get to that deeper part of who you are as a person, that you have great meaning and you're okay. I like to do it. When you get to the point that it's okay to not be okay, you'll be okay. That's when I'm sitting in my core value. I know that I have value and I have worth. And it's our parents that instill that in the very first year of life. And we do that through behavior, but every child needs to know that it is loved and valued. And when it receives messages that it is loved and valued, it will, that person will thrive. If they do not believe they have love and value or meaning, they won't thrive necessarily.
Okay, so let's talk about older people now, beyond just the children, about those core...
Me.
You.
In my own growing up, right?
Right. So us. How do we then have those values that, what values are you talking about that we need to have individually and hold dear to then be able to then relate with somebody else?
Okay, well, the idea of core value is that when I'm okay with me, and I understand that I have purpose and value, and then out of that sense of core value that I'm okay, then I attach value to other things. All right, I attach value to marriage. I attach value to what he refers to as our love values: marriage, fidelity, equality, fairness, you see. And so out of that sense that I'm okay, I start to value those things. You know, I always say people don't value their marriage enough, that they don't fight for it enough. But the things that you value, you will appreciate, you will put effort into, you put time in, and you'll sacrifice for it.
Okay, there's a difference though between enhancing the self versus inflating the ego. So let's talk about how we get those values. It's not necessarily bringing somebody down that makes us feel good.
You can do that to inflate your ego. I can make you look bad so I look good, which is what a lot of people do. Or I'll blame you for my issues. So as long as I do that, I'm inflating my ego. But here's the great thing. Inflating your ego is actually evidence that you don't live in your core value. Because people who live in their core value have no reason to go around and inflate their ego. Why? They're already secure in their value and worth as a person.
So if you have a spouse or somebody and you want them to value you, you say, does it start with me?
Yes.
Being able to value them, and then it's reciprocal? How does the value exchange work?
It's about you valuing you first. And then
it's all about finding worth and value in your core values.
Yes, religions talk about that. What the Bible says, a husband loves his wife, loves himself, core value. Love God and others as yourself, core value. If I'm okay with who I am, then I have no need to tear you down, take from you. Why? I already have self-acceptance and self-respect. And because I have self-acceptance and self-respect, I will also demand that others treat me that way, because I'm not going to be around people who mistreat me. Why? I value myself enough to not be treated that way.
And that's finding peace, right? If you're peaceful.
It is a very peaceful way to live life. You're right, Casey. And it's a pleasurable way to live life.
Yeah, and so that's an interesting point you said, trying to, if you find somebody who doesn't treat you right, like they're inflating their ego, so they're trying to take you down or make you feel, then you just get rid of that element of your life to then be happier.
Yes, I can use an example. When I did not grow up I grew up in a broke home where it was abuse and stuff, so I never believed I had value. Then I married my wife, who is kind of, she had her own issues and brokenness, and so I always wondered if I mattered to her. Do I matter? Do you need me?
Yeah.
And out of that sense that I didn't, I would become manipulative.
Because were you doubting yourself?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Until I began to realize I have to be okay with me to love her better.
There you go. And then the whole question is, how do you become okay with yourself? And
well, faith was important for me in that journey. That faith was a very key part of that. The other part is, you know, the fact that we're humans and we're here, by definition means we have a right to exist and that we are lovable.
There you go. So much more we could talk about, but always good stuff with you, Dr. Marks.
Well, it's my pleasure.
We appreciate you being here. And if you'd like to reach Dr. Marks, if you would like to carry on this conversation, you do couples counseling, you do a lot more.
We do intensives. For broken marriages, very much so.
And the website that we have here, I want to make sure that this is okay with you, is richardmarksphd.com, because you have a few.
Yeah, I have a few. Yeah, the main one is livethe.life.org.
Okay.
That's the main organizational one. That's my personal one right there.
Okay, good deal. And also the number 904-868-2683 for more info. Dr. Marks, thanks again for being here. We appreciate you. Coming up after the break, we're going to be joined by Dr. Raphael Foss. He's going to talk about how a product called Nutrimost, he says, can help you lose weight, how it works. After the break, we'll be right back.